This was last night, just the latest of what we know about the shooting that took place in Highland Park, Illinois, during an Independence Day event. Welcome to the show. Dana Loesch here with you today, and we got a lot of stuff to go through. Because I'm literally just now seeing some new video that's coming out. So happy, it's actually Wednesday. I know, it feels like a Thursday. It's Wednesday, and it's good to be with you today. I hope everyone had a otherwise safe Independence Day. We'll talk about all of that. We'll recap some things as well. But the big story that we're kicking off with today, Lake County State Attorney also had said he was asked as to whether or not the tragedy that took place, he was asked about 2A stuff, etc. But the biggest, thing to me is that here you had an event in Highland Park, Illinois, and a 21-year-old opens fire. It was the suburban Chicago 4th of July parade. 7 people killed, dozens others injured. Now, apparently, what we also heard more information about today was that this individual, this killer, was plotting another attack in Madison, Wisconsin, but for some reason decided not to carry that out. And authorities, the reason that they gave was that he had not done enough planning. So I'm sure we're going to get some more information on that. Now, the individual he made his first court appearance. And as you know, I don't like to say names of these individuals because there's scientific studies, numerous ones. In fact, I've cited them, discussed them, and shared them with you, that they, it encourages copycat behavior. But 7 counts of first-degree murder in the wake of that tragedy in Highland Park, Illinois. More charges are also expected, according to Lake County State Attorney Eric Reinhart. The killer appeared in court via Zoom, showed no emotion as the prosecutor outlined the attack and read victims' names. A lot of questions. I have a lot of questions. Some of the developments that we later learned, and I was really kind of shocked at this. So Kane is from Illinois. And Kane also knows that if you're going to purchase a firearm in Illinois, you have to get your firearm owner's identification card, aka a FUD card. You have to get your FUD card, and then you can't even go to a gun range in Illinois unless you have your FUD card. Now, why do I bring all of this up? Because this is, of course, the very first thing before we even knew all of the details, as we usually see. This was the very first thing that a lot of politicians pivoted to and began hitting relentlessly before, again, we even knew all the details or even how the killer obtained his firearms, because he apparently, from everything that we know, obtained them legally. And what came out also within the last 14 hours is that, the last 24 hours, we knew that this individual was known, again, to law enforcement. Cops had visited his home prior twice, the first time for his suicide attempt, and the second time they went and took away his knives. He had like 16 blades, I believe, knives and sabers, etc. Took those away. Now, hasn't been, in fact, and they were asked about this. That was the first question. I was watching the press conference earlier. That was the first question right out of the gate was, okay, well, was this a red flag being served, etc.? So far, there hasn't been a lot of information, and still wasn't today at the press conference given about that, because that's one of the questions I also have. And it goes back to, he was able to get a FUD card. He was able to get a FUD card for a particular reason, because apparently, even after, and I made mention of this on social media, even after police visited him twice, previously over a suicide attempt and to take away his knives, his dad, who apparently I was told ran on a gun control platform, he was supposedly a Republican, ran on a gun control platform, his dad signed off on his killer son's FUD card. So FUD, with Illinois, you can have a co-signer for your FUD card, your firearm owner's identification card. Now, what's interesting is on the application, when you co-sign subsection 2, it says, quote, I hereby give my consent for this minor applicant to possess and acquire firearms and firearm ammunition, and understand I shall be liable for any damages resulting from the minor applicant's use of firearms or firearm ammunition. That's on the application to co-sign a FUD card. Now, one of the questions that I have is that he co-signed the FUD card after, this was before this individual had turned 21. Now, he's 21 now. I think one of the things that has to be determined is what his liability, or if he does have any liability. When he turned 21, did he have to reapply? That's a question. And what would if the father may not have any liability past the age of 21, is what I'm saying. But what gets me is that you would do that even after the police visited for a suicide attempt, and separately a second visit to take away your knives. Why would you do this? What parent would do this? Would allow that? So that's why I don't know if the cosigner would even be held liable in that. To me though, and if you want my very forthright opinion on it, I think that this is some screwed up parenting. I think that this 21-year-old has long had problems, clearly, because the first police visit started in 2019. Clearly has problems, clearly, apparently didn't get help for it. Now, I point out the FUD card, not because I'm in support of it. Obviously, we shouldn't have to litigate this. I think it's an infringement. But my point is that you had the state that approved both the application and the purchase, even after 2 police visits. And instead of asking why this is, because clearly this individual was disturbed or evil, or something was going wrong, or maybe disturbed and evil, or just disturbed or just evil. We don't know. They're all separate or not. But the state, you had the parent that co-signed it, and then the state allowed for it to happen. They approved both the application, and then they also approved the purchase. And instead of asking why, politicians just skirt the issue and they blame all gun ownership. Someone asked me this today. They're like, why didn't you say possessor? Well, because clearly, you just learned some legal terms. The reason I didn't say possessor is because not all possessors are legal. I choose my words carefully. Join me.